Hello, everybody. My name is Lakeisha Wilson, affectionately called Kiki at TPOG. If you've been connected with the Place of Grace for the past year and a half, you will have heard Pastor mention my name and my kids, and you've seen them pray over me, and you've seen different members giving me hugs and holding me and wiping tears and all the things. But I have a story to tell, and I have a testimony. Many of you know that I lost my husband suddenly on October 19th, 2024. So I just want to tell you a bit of the story. We left on the 18th, going home. We're from Greenville, Mississippi. It's the hot tamale capital of the world. He had never gone to the hot tamale festival. The hot tamale festival was that weekend. We were going home to go so he could go to the festival and also see his sister that had just moved down from New Jersey. So on the way, my nephew had a football game in Brandon, and him and the kids dropped me off at the game, and they continued to Greenville because I was going to ride to Greenville with my parents who were also at the game. So they dropped me off at the game. The game was wonderful. We took pictures. I was grinning so hard. And then we left the game and we went home. I had just talked to him 30 minutes before because I wanted to know. He was at his sister's house hanging out, and I wanted to know if him and the kids were ready to go home, which was my parents' house, to go to bed or what. So he was like, yeah, let me know when you get to the house and I'll load up the kids and we'll come on because I'm ready to go to bed. 30 minutes passed. We made it home. I texted him to let him know that we had made it. He didn't respond, so I called, and his brother picked up the phone and told me that he had collapsed and he wasn't responding, and they had called an ambulance. They rushed him to the hospital, and about an hour later, they told me that he had passed away. But just like that, we had went home, and he went home. That's my story. Now, at the time, I was a stay-at-home mom. I was homeschooling the kids, and he was working. So when he passed away, I had nothing. We had a little money in the savings, but there was nothing, definitely not enough to pay for a funeral or all the bills. It was a wild time. On top of that traumatic experience, I was like, financially, I did not know how I was going to get through that. Of course, my family stepped in big time. Church family stepped in, and friends, like everybody knew the whole situation. And through that time, no bill went unpaid. I had plenty left over, and I just saw the hand of God moving in my life, even in that. The truck that we had was a lease, and it was in his name. And so they were trying to come get the truck because they can't transfer a lease. And so I told them what happened, and they were gracious enough to talk to like upper management, and they said as long as you can make the payment, you can keep the truck. I was able to keep that payment, and I was able to keep that truck, but I knew that it's not in my name. Eventually, I need to get something in my own name, so we wouldn't run into issues in the future. So I went to the dealership one day and ended up leaving with 2020 Ford Explorer. The hand of God. I wasn't even working. And something on the inside of me, after I got that truck, I text my family in our group chat and I said, by the end of next year, 2026, I'm going to buy a house. And I said that in complete faith because how? I had, my husband was a military veteran, but they had denied me of survival benefits, my survival benefits 3 times. I had appealed and appealed, and they had denied me 3 times. And I was done. But at the moment when I said that, I wasn't even dependent on that. I just, something on the inside just felt like it would happen. I can make it happen somehow. So I ended up getting the survivor's benefits. Actually, one of our church members reached out to me and she asked me how was it going with my, I said, man, I gave up. I'm done with that. We're just moving on. She said, no, 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 you cannot. She said, that is your money. You are entitled to that. And so she fought for me. And she reached out to the coroner, like made all kinds of moves. I just sat back and did what she told me to do, but she did all the work. And sure enough, I got approved for my survival benefits. The hand of God, because I was done. So after I got approved for the benefits, I was like, oh yeah, I might be able to be, eligible for a VA loan. Let me call and see. I called in January just to ask questions to see if I was eligible. I wasn't planning on like starting the process and then I just wanted to know, could I? And so I called and they said, yes, you could. And then she went on to tell me how much I could get approved for and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. And from January, we pretty much started the process. I got hooked up with a realtor through my bank. And I found a house that I fell in love with. It was like the second house I looked at. And I said, yeah, this one. And we got moving with the process. I closed on my new house in March. March 30th, I closed on the house. The hand of God moving in my life. I said by the end of 2026, like in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna get my credit right. We're gonna save up some money, and I got to do all the things to get ducks in a row. And by December of 2026, I want to be in the house or at least have started the process. I did not know that March 30th, I will be closing on a beautiful home. I miss my husband. This has been so hard. He should be here. But in his absence, and that's the thing, I didn't work. He didn't want me to work. He did not want me to work. I wanted to. He said, no, I want to be able to pay all the bills and take care of you. So he wanted to work. He didn't want me to do anything. But I've seen how in his absence, he's still taking care of me and the kids. That has always been his biggest desire, is to take care of his wife and his kids. He loved his kids and he loved himself some me. And that has been his biggest thing. And the hand of God has been moving in his absence. But I feel like he's up there petitioning the throne in our favor, because that's just the way he was when he was here on this earth. You cannot tell me that Quintars Wilson is not up there making requests, because I see it. There's a song that says, yes, God is real. And it's amazing how, you grow up singing these old songs, but you don't really understand, and they really don't hit home until you go through something. And if I ever had a doubt before, I know for a fact, not that I did have a doubt, because I always knew, been in church our whole life, and I've always known that God is real. But man, after going through all of this, I'd have a different and a deeper knowing that God is real. And I just want to encourage anybody out there that's believing God for anything. Believe God, trust God, stay with the Lord. My grandma used to always say, stay with the Lord. Y'all stay with the Lord. And keep me and the kids in your prayers. We're good. We just going through, but we getting through, because God is good. And I know everything is going to continue to be all right. Tears, going to be tearing. But I still have joy in my heart, and I'm grateful. Thank you so much.